1, 2, 3, 4.
Something is happening in boardrooms right now that nobody is naming it out loud. Leaders are speaking confidently about AI tools their teams have never touched. Strategies are built on tools nobody has actually used. And organizations are making decisions based on certainty that does not even exist. I'm Sahar Andrade. I'm a neuroleadership coach and host of AI Cafe Conversations podcast, ranked top 2% globally. I'm a Forbes Coach Council member as well. I work with executives and HR leaders on the neuroscience underneath leadership. Not the strategy, the nervous system driving the strategy. If we don't treat the root, the symptoms will always come back. And today we're talking about the most dangerous performance happening in corporate America right now. Can you guess what it is? It's faking AI fluency. According to IBM research, only 49% of top executives actually use the AI tools they fund. Let that land. Half of the leaders signing off on AI investments have never opened the platforms their teams are expected to master. So I want to ask you a question. How do you think that leadership relationship with the teams that are using it is going? What if they go to that executive and ask them a question? What will be the confidence rate in that response? How is the trust between teams and those executives working? All this comes to my mind when I read things like that. It doesn't make me feel very comfortable. So the executives are signing on AI investments that they have never opened, and they are expecting their teams to master it. And yet, the boardroom presentations continue. The confident language continues. The strategy decks continue. Why? Because the brain is doing exactly what it was built to do. Why leaders fake it? Here is what most people get wrong about this. They think it's arrogance or laziness, or that leaders simply do not care enough to learn. But that is not what's happening. The brain hates looking incompetent, especially at the top. So let me explain this simply, or in a simple way. When a leader feels exposed, the nervous system does not treat it as a learning opportunity. It treats it as a threat. The same threat circuitry that fires when you are physically in danger fires when your status feels at risk. Status loss, competence doubt, public exposure. These register in the brain as survival threats. So what does a dysregulated nervous system do with that threat? It protects. It performs certainty. The word is performs. It uses confident language. It references AI tools in meetings without admitting it has never logged into one. The irony of that, huh? It produces the appearance of fluency because admitting the gap feels like the greater risk. Faking fluency feels safer than naming the gap. And here is the cruel irony. The performance looks exactly like confidence from the outside. You cannot distinguish it. Nobody in the room challenges it. The team doesn't push back, and the board does not probe. And so the performance solidifies. I had a conversation recently with a senior leader who had been championing her organization's AI transformation for over a year. She had been in every meeting. She had approved the budget. She had spoken about it at company all hands. She told me quietly that she had never actually used the tools, not once. You can imagine the look on my face. She said, I kept meaning to, and then I kept getting pulled into the next thing. And then it felt too late to admit I hadn't started. That is not a character flaw. That's a nervous system in self-protection mode. And it happens in organizations every single day. What does it cost? Here is why this matters beyond the individual leader. Every decision your team makes is downstream of what you signal. Not what you say, what you signal. If you perform certainty, your team mirrors certainty. They do not raise concerns because the leader has not left room for concerns. They don't slow down because the leader appears confident. They do not name the gaps because the gaps have been erased from the official narrative. False certainty produces real consequences. Wrong investments. Money put into tools the organization is not ready to use. Wrong timelines. Rollout plans built on assumptions nobody has tested. Wrong talent decisions. Hiring or restructuring based on AI capabilities that do not yet exist inside the team. And here is the piece that breaks my heart every time. The team knows. They almost always know. A leader can perform fluency in a meeting, but the team is watching every day. They see who asks smart questions and who deflects. They see who engages with the tools and who never opens them. They see the gap between the rhetoric and the reality, and they go quiet. Not because they agree, because they have learned that naming the truth is not safe here. Trust erodes in silence, not in conflict, in silence. A 2026 Deloitte report found that 60% of executives say they use AI in their decisions, but only 5% manage it well. And I know I shared that before with you, but it's so important that I need to keep reminding you of that. That gap between what is claimed and what is real is not a data gap. It's a nervous system gap. A leader operating from threat cannot tolerate not knowing. So they perform knowing, and the organization pays the cost of that performance for years. So, what does honest AI fluency actually sounds like? I want to be clear about something. I'm not asking leaders to be AI experts. That's not the job. The job is to be honest about where your knowledge ends. Let me give you the actual language. For example, I'm learning this alongside you. That sentence right there, 6 words. Those 6 words do more for organizational trust than a dozen confident presentations built on things you have not tested. Here is what I understand, and here is where my knowledge ends. That is not weakness, that is safety. When a leader names the edge of their knowledge, they give the team permission to do the same. The team stops protecting the leader from the truth. Information flows, real problems get surfaced, and real solutions get built. This is why I work with leaders on the nervous system underneath my strategy. My brain framework is built on this premise. Regulation comes before strategy. A leader who cannot regulate cannot lead an AI transformation. They can manage one, they can perform one, but they cannot actually lead it. The difference between managing and leading shows up in moments exactly like this. A leader who manages will keep the performance going as long as possible. A leader who leads will name the gap and build from there. I want you to think about one leader you know right now who is performing AI certainty. You have one in mind. You probably have three. Now think about it, what it would cost that leader specifically to say out loud, I don't know as much as I have been acting like I know. The cost is real. It's relationship risk. It's status risk. It's authority risk. And I'm not minimizing it. But weigh it against this. What is it costing the team every single day that the performance continues? What decisions are being made badly? What talent is quietly losing confidence in leadership? What AI investments are being built on a foundation that nobody has actually stress tested? The cost of honesty is visible and immediate. The cost of perform certainty is invisible and compounding. The most dangerous words in an AI strategy meeting are not, I don't know. They are, of course, we are handling it, from someone who is not. The brain built that sentence to protect the leader. The organization cannot afford what that sentence actually cost. If you're sitting with any recognition right now, that is not shame. That is information. Your nervous system knows the difference between performing certainty and building it. But so does your team. Not sure where you stand? 30 minutes. No pitch, just clarity. Book a leadership clarity call at the link below in the description. The link is right here. And I will see you next week on Wednesday in our long podcast. This was our Friday short article, like Forbes article like podcast. This is Sahar Andrade. Like before I leave, I always say, show me some love. Subscribe, comment, share, rate our podcast. It helps us tremendously. Thank you for making us one of the top 2% global podcasts. I really appreciate your support, your love, and your help. Share it with someone that needs to hear it. Till I meet you next Wednesday, peace out.